What's up, Breaker Army? Today we're going to discuss the new Maze set, the Maze of the Master, and why I think it has potential to be maybe set of the year or set of the future. I'm kind of figuring out the best way I want to pitch it right now, and I have a couple hot takes why. So, with collector's rare sets, ever since they came out with Toon Chaos, we've only ever gotten, it was all supers. I think it used to only be 3 ultra rares and then collector's rares. The last year since well, I guess like 2 years now, the 25th anniversary, they started to introduce the quarter century rares. So it made them a little bit more fun to open, plus they added ultra rares to be able to pull. So collector's rare sets over time have gotten better. I remember when they first came out, they were just, I never wanted to open them because you had 3 ultras. If you didn't pull a collector's rare, you were screwed. And the value would just tank from those boxes in a lot of them. And now it did depend, because sometimes a lot of these collector's rare sets, these like deck building sets that they call them, actually performed very well because they were very playable cards in there, which is good. Everything has their right place. And what, I'm speaking more from a collector side of things and why I think this, could be potentially set of the future, set of the year. So as we dive into collectors or sets and get closer to them now, we have Maze of the Master, where you get your supers, you're going to get ultras, you get secret rares now, collector's rares, and then the QCR. So obviously after Alliance Insight, in case you guys didn't know, that's coming out later in May, that's going to be the end of QCRs. We're shifting back to Starlight Rares for those of you who haven't been keeping up. So I hope to see Starlight Rares stay in the core, in the like side sets, the collector's rare sets, the deck building sets, whatever you want to call them, because I was actually talking with Ghost King TCG just a few minutes ago on how it almost feels like the later era GX boxes, 5Ds, Zexal, Arc V, where you have supers, ultras, secrets, ultimate rares, nowadays collector's rares, ghost rares, nowadays starlight rares are the QCRs. So it just gives a collector and somebody that truly just wants to rip boxes so much more stuff to actually have fun and enjoy. Whereas we're going to get to some more topics in just a minute, but whereas like if you look at the core sets now, you just have ultras, secrets, and starlight rares, so you're missing those actual collector's rares, where I think that's really important. So there's going to be this weird shift. So when we go to Alliance Insight, I don't think there's any like hidden cards to be pulled. Also, I did forget to mention too, with Maze of the Master, the QCRs in there, yes, there were only 2, but they were alternate art. So just everything. I think this set is going to be slept on. Obviously a lot of the cards in here are more playable cards. Some of them are going to be like, maybe not meta decks, but rogue decks, but pretty decently good decks. It obviously has its own meta cards in there, some really good reprints. But with now Alliance Insight and the core sets after that, it hasn't been revealed yet, but all the sets with Alliance Insight and all the core sets, you're going to have just that standard run-of-the-mill Ultras, Secrets, and QCR. You're missing those collector's rares. So it's going to be really funny, where everybody hated collector's rares the collector's rare sets, the deck building sets for the longest time, because you had so limited chances to actually pull good stuff. The value just wasn't there. Now everybody's going to be hating the regular sets, the core sets. At least this is just my initial perspective on it, because I want to be able to pull and have as many chances to pull good rarities, like to have as many chances to pull some shiny cardboard. At the end of the day, the reason we do all this stuff is because we love shiny cardboard. Like, you cannot deny it. There's such a thrill. There's so much fun in like having a chase. So when I first looked at Maze of the Master and I found out that there were secret rares, I'm like, wow, like there's more to be pulled. So it gives more cards for you to actually have a chance to hit something on. So basically, like the short of this is, we're looking at these sets thinking like, okay, what is more fun to rip? Like, obviously collector's rare sets in the past, these deck building sets have been more centralized on, okay, we're going to give the community a little bit of stuff to open, a little bit of rarities to chase, but we're going to focus heavily on it being a deck building set. I also forgot to mention things like King's Court that had the Pharaoh's rares. They need to keep doing stuff like that. Obviously not every set, but I think like one set a year, because usually, I think last year might have been the only time, was it last year or the year before, where we only got one side set, like one deck building set. I can't remember which year it was, but usually they do like 2. I can't remember if they've done 3 per year. But give us something, throw us a bone. That's like Battle of Chaos, where we had the Bandai Art Dark Magician. Little things like that make the hobby a lot more fun, where you have these chases, these different things that you can get. So I do want to take actually a quick dive just to look at the prices and the stuff for Maze of the Master, then we'll talk about some more stuff as well. I don't really want this video to turn into a market watch, but just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about for those of you who don't know what Maze of the Master is, you don't know what the pulls could be, you haven't seen the rarities. So a quick look at the sets. If you go in TCG Player, the number one card in here is the 7th Tachyon Collector's Rare. I think it's for the Yugioh archetype. I don't understand the game very well. I just, I'm learning all that stuff, but that's just what I've heard. So that's obviously the number one card. Then you have the Secret Rare. Again, Secret Rare in a deck building collector's rare set is huge. And then the booster boxes are about 60 to 65. That's about, what they kind of average. So I am curious to see how this set trends. This could be a box to keep an eye on. Like I have, I'm not saying this because I have cases. I have literally one sealed box. So I'm not sitting on a ton of Maze the Master. I not even realize that until I got my boxes in, I'm like, holy crap, there's actually more to be pulled from here. And then you have the Molcharmi Perulia Collector's Rare. Kind of crazy to already have a reprint of this. It came out, I don't remember the set, like Infinite Forbidden maybe? No, I think that was too soon. Maybe Rage of the Abyss, something like that. But you had that as one of the best secret rares, and then it got the QCR. Now we have the Collector's Rare and an Ultra in this set, so you're getting some reprints. Plus, isn't this also coming out Bonanza? Maybe not. Maybe it's Fulos. I can't remember. Anyway, and then we have the Silent Magician. This one, we're going to check this one out real quick. This one actually has dropped in price a good bit. So if we go back to the last couple of days, there's obviously been a decent amount of sales, but it went from like 6 to 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. The lowest listings right now are in like the 40s. So I do think this one has room to drop. It's not going to be playable. This is strictly going to be a collectible card. But what is going to be really cool, I do think number 107 is actually seeing some play. I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think it is seeing possibly some play. And this one is kind of surprised me that it's so cheap, but it's such a cool art. Like, Konami, watch this video, watch the people who actually open your products, listen to us, like, give us more alternate arts. Like, oh baby, this is just so cool. It would be so nice to have, like, as a collector, especially if they're going to keep this. So let's say the deck building, these side sets, they keep it where it's like these collector's rare sets. They're going to keep it where you get your collector's rares, and then the core sets you don't get collector's rares. Keep the collector's rare sets having the alternate art Starlight rares, what they're going to be later on. Keep it like that, but make them alternate arts. That would be amazing for collectors. Please, 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 please don't just reprint stuff just to reprint it. Give us something worth collecting. It's a collector's rare set. Give us a collectible card. And then just going back to the rest of the set. So what is cool, there's actually obviously this set introduces the Odeon, like, actual archetype, I guess you could say. So all the, like, Temple of the Kings, you've got the Scorpion of Serket, all different stuff. Anubis, the Last Judge. You've got trap cards as monsters, all different stuff. So very, very cool set. Plus, you obviously get things like Winged Dragon of Ra in here as the Immortal Phoenix as a collector's rare, which is very cool. You get Gladiator Beast stuff. Sword Soul was reprinted in here. I had no clue that was coming. It didn't get any, like, big rarity bumps. There's actually rarity downgrades, so a lot of rares and supers that came from that one. But, obviously it gets more playability for a Sword Soul, which is good. Union Controller's pretty cool. I do like that they actually retrained the X, Y, and Z monsters plus the XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon, I think. It's probably not even on the first or second page. Most of these Ultras end up being a couple bucks anyways. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, so XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. The art is actually really cool. I will say that much. Like, I've always kind of, like, a little bit liked XYZ Dragon Cannon, but the Hyper Dragon Cannon does look pretty nice. And then the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal. This is one I think that could potentially hold some decent value. So this artwork is pretty cool. I like the Primal version they're going with. So yeah, just overall, I think this set is great. I think it has a lot of potential. I think, we obviously have the Allure stuff in here too. Like, I'm sure there's some other archetype that I'm missing that was printed in the set, because there's just been so much, like, other stuff, like zombie stuff, Duke of Demise. I don't know what else that's play with. I think Singularity Fiend is going to have some stuff for the future. This Ancient Gear statue for Ancient Gear, Trick Stars, like, this set literally just kind of printed everything. So just to kind of, like, wrap things up, with this video, I don't want it to go on kind of forever. I really wanted to get this out because I don't know if anybody has considered this yet. Somebody, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ghost King. We were just kind of talking the other day in Discord, and I'm like, I actually have a video coming out that I want to record and just talk about this, on how the Maze of the Master could be a really awesome set. Like, I was talking to D Legend this past weekend at the Front Row Card Show, which, by the way, go check out the POV and the short video that we put out for what we actually picked up. It was a crazy show. But I was talking to him after the show was over. I'm like, dude, like, I really actually like this set for those reasons. So I hope Konami actually listens to collectors. I hope they actually watch some of these videos. Not necessarily mine, but if anybody else speaks on this stuff, where we just want stuff that's collectible. I get it. Yu-Gi-Oh is a very dueling heavy, playability driven type of game, but you gotta keep your collectors happy. There's a lot of people that, like myself included, that just like to actually collect the shiny cardboard. So keep things fun. You know, obviously we have Stampede coming up in the future. We've got Alliance Insight. We don't know what's coming out after that. Well, actually, we do have the Monster Mayhem where we're going to get the chibi arts, which is really cool. I am so excited for the chibi arts coming out Monster Mayhem. So that's going to be fun with the new Battles of Legend set. So, anyways, guys, you know, I'm kind of going to wrap it up there. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think Maze the Master could be potentially set of the year? Not necessarily because of value, not necessarily because of like the archetype like that's in the set, but for strictly introducing new style of rarities for these sets. I hope to see this more often in the future. I hope this isn't like a one and done type set. This will be nice to see more. And then, you know, on the other side of that, the inverse, do you feel like core sets are now going to be overshadowed by collector's rare sets? So I hope that they just mesh it all together. I would love to see more collector's rares. I don't like having to wait for a side set every time for a collector's rare when it has to do with an archetype that I don't care about. You know, there's a lot of core sets that come out where I'm like, holy crap, that ultra looks nice, that super looks nice. And I'm like, I would like a CR of it because like most CRs actually look pretty good. So there's a lot to really kind of think about here, a lot to discuss. I'm actually really curious to see what everybody's thoughts and opinions are, where you're thinking like this set could be, where you're thinking core sets could be, what you're excited for the future. So let me know down below, guys, what you thought of this topic. Of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to hear me talk about anything else, make sure you do, of course, like the video if you liked it. Drop a comment down below and subscribe for future discussions and other styles of videos just like this. And of course, you can support the channel even further by joining as a channel member. Join the channel membership squad. You guys can get some free packs and a lot of other goodies as well. But I'll talk to you next time. Peace. I do have to give a massive shout out to my channel members: Sargoni YT, K Dragon, Mark Donnelly, Cody Slater, Josh Evans, Michael P. Sutton, Lazy Dane, Evan Rudolph, Allison Snell, Will Breaks TCG, Ram22, Roland Pryor, Austin and Kayla, Ghost King TCG, Derek Williams, King Louie, Toe Info Show, Battle Phase, Opening Act, James Roche, and Chio. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I do hope you have a nice day. Hope you have a nice night. I will see you guys the next time. This is CardBreaker. I'm out.